In today's episode, we're diving into the listener mailbag. We're going to answer questions about annuities, what to do if you come into a surplus of income, whether that be from a real estate transaction, an inheritance, or maybe a big bonus from work. And then the last question we're going to talk about is where you should be focusing your money, meaning which tax account types should you be putting your money in? Should you be maxing out your 401k, or should you be adding tax diversification by putting in a non-retirement investment account? Stick around. We've got a lot of great questions we're going to answer and strategies and actions that you can implement in your financial picture.
Welcome to the Your Life, Your Money podcast with Scott Searins, teaching you how to thrive in life, wealth, and retirement.
Welcome to the Retirement Show, all about your life, your money, and we're going to talk about how we can potentially help reduce your tax situation, keeping more in your pocket versus giving it to the IRS. I'm your host, Scott Searins, and my goal is to help you thrive in life, wealth, and retirement. So thanks for joining us, and we hope that you find today's episode, as well as each and every episode, of value and benefit to your overall situation, giving you strategies and actions that you can take and implement into your picture. And today's episode is full of that. Today's episode is going to be a mailbag episode. We've got great questions that have come in, questions about annuities, questions about prioritizing your retirement versus helping grandkids with their college education, what to do if you come into a surplus of funds, and then which accounts should you max out? Would it be your IRAs, your 401ks, your Roths, your brokerage accounts? We've got a lot to unpack today. You might find yourself in a similar situation to one of these questions, or you might just find the information and strategies that we talk about in the questions helpful to your overall situation. Now, before we dive into the questions, if you haven't yet, subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast player. That way you get notified as we're coming out with new podcasts each and every week, again, to help you build wealth and reduce your long-term tax picture. As well as check out our YouTube channel. Now, we've got not only all of our podcasts loaded up on our YouTube channel, but we also have a lot of different videos there to help provide you some value and benefit as well. We've got videos on how to help reduce taxes on your required minimum distributions, how and when you should potentially make investment portfolio changes as you get close to retirement. We've got videos on 401ks versus Roth 401ks, and then also videos on all of the withdrawal rules around your 401k. So check out the YouTube channel. That's Searins. Go to YouTube, and it's Searins Financial Group. That's SIERENS Financial Group on YouTube. You'll find a lot of great videos for you there. All right, with that, let's dive into the mailbag questions. Here we go. First question comes in from David. David says, I have an annuity that I bought 9 years ago, and it will mature in a year, right around the time my wife is scheduled to retire. I'll have the option of turning it into lifetime income or moving it into a different investment altogether. Which one should I do? Well, David, there is a lot to unpack here in your question, and not knowing your, specific current income, future income, and just details in regards to your overall life, you understand that I can't just give you the answer of which you should do, but I want to give you a lot of things to think about here when it comes to your annuity and future income. And if anybody else has an annuity as well, David, they're going to learn a lot here from your question. So first off, you mentioned that your annuity has a lifetime income portion to it. Some do, some don't. So if you have an annuity, you need to take a look at it, and does it have a way to take lifetime income? Now, typically all annuities have a way to annuitize them, which is turning it into lifetime income. But usually once you annuitize something, that means that then you no longer have access to the principal or the base that you've put in. So a lot of annuities now come with what are called riders, and then those riders are called lifetime income riders, meaning turning that annuity into a lifetime income stream. Sounds like that's what David has on his account. And those lifetime income streams, you can almost look at those similar to having a pension. And so, David, I think that's the first thing here that I'm going to highlight that you need to think about. What's more important to you? Is it lifetime guaranteed income, or having I'll say if you used a different investment, you put your money in the market, having a variable income stream. So let's look at some of the pros and cons of each. Now let's just say you did use the lifetime income. Majority of the times, but I'm not saying all, and you have to look at your specific annuity, majority of the times when you take those lifetime income streams, that lifetime income is fixed for life. So if it says, hey, David, you're going to get, if you turn it on at, let's just say age 64, I'm making up an age, but you turned it on at age 64, it might say that it's going to pay you $2,000 a month. Now, the thing to be aware of is a lot of times that amount that you get each and every month is a fixed amount for life, meaning it's not going to go up with inflation. Now, there are some annuities out there where the lifetime income stream can go up with inflation, but just take a look, because typically you're going to start out with you're going to start out with a lower payout rate because they know that they're going to factor in inflation to that payout rate as well. But let's just start by talking where a majority of the annuities fall, meaning that your lifetime income payment is going to be fixed for life. So you have to look at that and say, are you okay with that? Are you okay with that amount being the same amount that you're going to get each and every year, each and every month, each and every year for the rest of your life? Or if you're putting your money into the market, are you okay with variable income, meaning instead of $2,000 a month, sometimes it might be less if the market's gone down a bunch. Sometimes it could be a lot more if the market goes up. However, with now having your money in the market, you have that potential for taking increases with your income stream to keep up with inflation. Okay, what are some other pros and cons here? Well, with the lifetime income approach, typically those are guaranteed. Now, of course, we have to say, and anybody that's selling you an annuity would need to say that it's all based on the claims paying ability of the insurance company. But that insurance company is providing you a guarantee, so guaranteed for life, right? Never run out. And if the pot of money were to run out, typically those lifetime income riders are stating that the company is going to continue to pay you that $2,000 each and every month, even if the amount of money that you put in ran out. Now, on that other side of the thing, right, having your money in the market, we've talked about that's a variable income stream. You have the potential for that income stream to go up over time if your investments do well. But one thing that we all know is that there's nothing guaranteed in the market. So if you take too much out of that bucket, well, then it is possible for that money to run out. Let's go back and forth. What are some other pros and cons? Let's look at the flexibility of each type of account. With the lifetime income stream, you're getting that. It's just that lifetime income, that $2,000 a month for the rest of your life in our example. So let's just say you were to need a surplus of extra income, meaning you wanted to go out and buy a car or go on an extra vacation, and your $2,000 a month isn't covering that. Well, unfortunately, you don't have the flexibility to go and grab more. Now, if you have your money in the market bucket, you have that flexibility to take out what you want when you need it. Now, the other thing to kind of look at in regards to each of these could be fees. How does that come into play when it comes to your annuity? Typically, annuities could be variable annuities or fixed income annuities with an income rider, variable annuity with an income rider. Variable annuities typically have some higher fees. Fixed indexed annuities. Typically it could be no fees, or if you have an income rider, there might be a fee associated with that rider. So that's something to look at on the annuity side. Have you looked at and determined how much fees you'll have on that side of the bucket? Or if you're to go with that different investment, let's just call it the money in the market, then you have to look at expense ratios in the funds that you're using. Will you have any sort of advisory fees? So hopefully that just gives you a whole bunch of different things to kind of think about and compare when you're trying to unpack which should you take. Should you take that lifetime income rider or not? You know what? For some people, a mixture of both works out. Having some of their income fixed for life through like a lifetime income rider, and then having some of their income as variable income, meaning like that money that putting that money in the stock market. And I think you have to just determine what is your preference for retirement income, and then where does all of this fit into your plan? Meaning, if you were to turn all of this into a lifetime income stream, is this all of the money that you have? If it is, I don't know if that would be the best thing to do, because now all of your money is in this one lifetime income stream. It's not leaving you a whole lot of flexibility in the event that you do need to go and put a down payment on a car or a house or something else that comes up in retirement. But if it's a small portion of your overall retirement income and it helps you feel comfortable about your retirement, well, then maybe that's a good idea to take as well. I'm sure you're kind of seeing by now, David, that a lot of this really comes down to your specific plan. Sitting down with a financial advisor, this is what we do with clients each and every day, putting together a retirement plan, understanding in that retirement plan how much of your income will be fixed, meaning guaranteed like income, and then how much of your income will be variable. And then are you comfortable with those numbers, or do those numbers need to be adjusted? Looking at all of your different sources, Social Security, pensions, annuities, money that you have in the market, and coming up with those determinations. So I hope that I've at least given you a lot of thoughts to take place and questions to be asking your advisor, or the thought to sit down with an advisor to put all of this together. So that way you're making the right decision for your specific situation moving forward. David, thanks for sending in the question. Hope that I brought you some value and benefit in all of the thoughts that I went over there. All right, let's look at our second question, which comes in from Mary. Mary said, I had kids later in life than most people. I'm almost 60 and my twin boys will be heading to college in a few months. I really want them to be able to finish college without any huge student loans, but I'm not sure that I can pay for both of them to go through school without hurting myself financially. I'd really like to retire eventually. Which should I place a higher priority on, their education or my retirement? Mary, I'm going to tell you what, my answer is going to be very quick and simple here. You need to focus on your retirement. Here's why. The years that you have to earn, Mary, are fading. As we all get older, unfortunately, our working years, the ability to work to produce an income does start to fade away a little bit. So here's what I want you to think about. Let's just say you go and decide to help your boys out with their college education, and you focus your time, energy, and money on that. Now, you can focus your time and energy on it, but let's just then say you start to focus your money in regards to your boys' college education versus your retirement. Well, you might get them through college without any debt or without any stress, but then we have to say, what about your retirement? Does that mean that you're going to have to work longer? Does that mean you're going to have to work all the way through retirement? What does that mean specifically for you and your future income stream? If you did that, does that mean that you'll have enough still for the income that you need? From what you wrote me here, it sounds like it's going to be hurting you financially. And let's just say you did that. You did realize that it hurt you financially. Do you feel like, and I'm not saying that your boys wouldn't, but do you feel like that your boys would support you financially in your retirement because you helped support them with their college education? Here's the deal. Your boys are younger, and once they get through college, they're going to have lots of years to be able to pay off that college education. And maybe it'll actually make them be, very focused on making sure they're getting the right education for the right price, and let's just say not sticking around for more time than they need to at college. So I really want you to think about all of those things, because they will have the time to be able to work and pay off those college loans and that college debt. Mary, I realize this is some tough advice, because I know that you want to take care of your family, and that's such a great thing that you want to do. And so I realize this advice comes tough, because you're asking the question because, one, you really do want to help support them. But number two, you're also looking for just that it's okay to take care of yourself before you continue to support your boys. And I'm giving you that okay, because I want you to have a retirement where you're not stressed, where you have the money that you need to get you through life. And hey, look at it this way, Mary. In the event that, as you continue to go through your retirement, if it looks like you have a surplus, well, you can always then gift your son's money later in life to pay off that debt, or you can write checks directly for the loan payments that they have later on in your life. So, hey, why not focus on yourself right now? And you can always help them take care of this later if they're still struggling and paying it off. I'm guessing there was others with the same question right on their minds. Mary, thanks for sending it in. I'm hoping that you helped others out as well as we helped you out. All right, let's move on to question number 3 from Gwen. Gwen says, my house is already paid off, but I'm about to sell it and downsize to a condo that's $100,000 cheaper. Should I put the money that I make during this transition into the market? Gwen, thanks for sending in that question. And I find that this happens a lot to people in life, that they're coming into surpluses of either income or surpluses of money or inheritances. So your question, Gwen, even though it's around real estate, I hope that people are listening, because this could apply to anybody that might just have a lump sum coming into their possession. Again, that could be from real estate, could be from an inheritance, could be from a bonus check, could be from any sort of surplus in income that they have coming in. So here's what I want you to think about, just kind of like taking steps as you go upstairs. And what are the steps that you should be taking and in which order? First off, I'd say if you have any debts, pay them off. Now, listening to Gwen here saying that she already had her house paid off, I'm going to guess that she might not have had a whole lot of other debts. But if you have debts, I would say start there, pay them off. And now a lot of times people will think, well, I just have a car loan, those are normal. Or I've got a boat loan, that's kind of normal. Or I've got this loan, that's kind of normal. Loans are debts. Typically, any sort of loan that you have on a depreciating asset would be a debt that you want to get rid of. So I'm going to still go back to it. If you've got a surplus of money coming in, I'm going to say start with that first step, which is getting rid of any debts that you have. Why pay somebody else interest for money when you have the money to pay it off? All right, so you've got your debts paid off. What's the second step we'd take? That's making sure you've got your emergency fund or rainy day fund in place. You'll find a whole lot of rules of thumbs out there. It could be 3 months, could be 6 months. Maybe you're self-employed. You want to have a 1-year emergency fund. But again, understand what your monthly expenses are. Take it times 3, take it times 6, take it times 12. And that's how much you want to have in your emergency fund. I like to call it a reserve, but whatever you name it, emergency fund, rainy day fund, reserve, that's the second step. I would say, hey, make sure you've got that bucket filled up. So you've gotten through the first 2 steps. Let's just say you still have money left over from that $100,000. My next question to you be for the third step in this process is, do you have any major cash needs coming up within the next 1 to 2 years? Let me give you some examples. Do you know that you're going to be going out to buy a new car because yours is getting really old? Do you know that you're going to put a new roof on your house, new siding on your house? Do you need a new furnace or a new fridge? What kind of cash needs do you have coming up in the next 1 to 3 years? Because if you have those needs coming up, I would save then the portion of money that you need aside for it now. Because let's just say you put that money in the market falls by 20%. Now all of a sudden you don't have the money that you need to go and make that purchase of that item, or at least don't have all of it, right? And so might as well just carve it off now. I always look, anything that you need over the next 1 to 3 years, because the market could correct, there's no sense having it in the market. Keep it somewhere safer, like a bank account. Now, you've always heard me talk about those online savings accounts. I'd save it there. You're getting a higher interest rate in today's markets. Now, you've gotten through those first, that's 1, 2, 3 steps on the staircase. And you say, wait a second, Scott, I still have money left over. What should I do now? Well, if you have earned income, then I'd say, hey, could you contribute some of this to a Roth IRA? Again, speak with your tax person. Make sure that you can make a contribution to a Roth IRA. But if you can, great. Let's get this money into the Roth. And here's why. Because you keep that money where it's at. You put it in a brokerage account. Well, the dividends, interest, and gains could be potentially taxed in a brokerage account. We put it in a Roth account. Well, now you've got tax-free growth, tax-free withdrawals. You're just shifting the tax status of this money. So getting it in that Roth account could be a huge help. And then after that, so that's step 4. We're going up that staircase. You've funded your Roth. The next thing I'd focus on then is just opening up a brokerage account. Sometimes these are called individual accounts, non-qualified accounts. Basically, it's a non-retirement investment account. I would put your money in there. And here's what I'd focus on. I would focus on long-term focus here. You don't want to be making trades every day or every other day or every 6 months. You want to focus over a year here. That way, from a tax standpoint, you can focus on long-term gains versus short-term gains and get this money working for you and for your future according to your risk tolerance. So I hope that really helped you think about this money. Take it in steps. Don't try to do everything at once. Just go through those. Let's see, what do we have here? 5 steps. Step 1, pay off the debts. Step 2, fund your rainy day fund. Step 3, any major cash needs that you'll need in the next 1 to 2 years for purchases. Step 4, fund your Roths. Step 5, you've done all of that. Yep, let's get that money working for you in a non-retirement investment account. Gwen, great question. Thanks for sending it in. I know yours is in regards to real estate, but for some others out there, this might be an inheritance that they're receiving or a larger bonus check that they got from work. So I know a lot of people can learn from your question and probably just did. Thanks again. And with that, we're moving on to our 4th and final question we've got from Bradley. Bradley says, should I be completely maxing out my 401k and Roth IRA before opening a taxable brokerage account, or is there benefit to opening a separate brokerage account to provide more flexibility? Bradley, yes. Thanks for asking this question. As you know, I love to talk about taxes and how can we continue to put ourselves in the best tax position possible for our futures. And Bradley has hit the nail right on the head here. I'm so glad that he asked it. I'm going to say, Bradley, that yes, you want to focus on tax diversification. Why is that? Well, we've got basically 3 different types of buckets that we can put our money in when it comes to taxes. You named your 401k. That's one bucket. Now, the 401k, yes, you get a tax deduction today. Sounds great. However, you have to remember you're going to pay tax on all of that income in the future, any withdrawals that you take out of that bucket. And remember that bucket also, at age 72, they're going to force you to take income out of it. And all of that income they force you to take out of it will be taxed at your ordinary income tax rate. The other bucket you mentioned was the Roth IRA. I love the Roth bucket because you put money in, yeah, you pay tax on it today, but it grows tax-free and you can withdraw the money that you put in plus all your growth, you can withdraw that tax-free as well. But to get back to your point, why it's so important to open that third account, your 401k and your Roth IRA, those types of accounts typically cannot touch those types of accounts until you're age 59 and a half. And if you were to touch those accounts, meaning make withdrawals from them prior to age 59 and a half, you're going to incur a 10% early withdrawal penalty. Now, to your point here, Brad, then there's that non-retirement account, that brokerage account to be able to put money into as well. And when you put money into that account, you have flexibility to not only put it in whenever you want and how much you want, but also take it out at whatever age that you want to. And there's tax advantages, tax benefits to all 3 buckets. That bucket, if you focus more long-term, longer than 1 year when it comes to your money or making trades in that account, you can be looking at long-term capital gains tax versus short-term capital gains tax. And long-term capital gains are at a more favorable rate than short-term gains, which is your ordinary income tax rate. And so that bucket, you get taxed as you go, but you're building up your base as you go. And if it's properly managed, you can get a more favorable rate on those tax dollars as well. So I know it doesn't, fully answer your question, Bradley, about maxing out accounts or not maxing out accounts, but I hope it provides you just a really good answer of you're heading down the right direction of wanting to have tax diversification in your overall plan. That's what's most important, having money in different buckets, because we really don't know what tax rates are going to do in the future. They could go up, they could go down. Now, I know when I say they could go down, we probably all laugh at that one a little bit because there's a whole lot of national debt going on. So at some point in time, it's all going to get paid for. But hey, if they go down, having your money in different buckets gives you different locations to pull from when you might need money in the future. So, Bradley, thanks for sending in that question. Lots of great questions today. And actually, that one makes me think, if you're somebody who's probably maxing out your 401ks or thinking about maxing out your Roth IRAs, maybe you're earning a very high income, check out our YouTube channel. Again, Sierens Financial Group, SIERENS. And I've got a video on there called 11 Tax Strategies for High Income Earners. You might find that one of value and benefit, as there's a lot of great strategies and actionable items in that video to help you reduce your long-term tax picture. Well, to Bradley, Gwen, Mary, and David, and to everyone else joining us in on today's episode, I hope you found the information to be of value and benefit. If so, subscribe on your favorite podcast player. That way you get notified as we're continuing to come out with new episodes each and every week. And if you haven't yet, check out lifemoneyshow.com. Scroll down, sign up for our insiders list. That way you're on our weekly email list to help you build wealth and reduce your long-term tax picture. I look forward to our next episode together to help you continue to enjoy life today and be financially confident about your tomorrow.
Investment advisory services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC, AEWM. AEWM and Sierens Financial Group, Inc. are not affiliated companies. Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Sierens Financial Management, Inc. Sierens Financial Group, Inc. is an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through AE Wealth Management, LLC, AEWM, a registered investment advisor. AEWM does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Sierens Financial Management, Inc. are not subject to investment advisor requirements. AEWM and Sierens Financial Group, Inc. are not affiliated companies. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as a sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Sierens Financial Group, Inc. is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during the show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Sierens Financial Group, Inc. Bond obligations are subject to the financial strength of the bond issuer and its ability to pay. Before investing, consult your financial advisor to understand the risks involved with purchasing bonds.